done a month or two ago, being in the cave for 3 days, and I did this exercise, which was like a forgiveness prayer to all the people that I have judged, and it really kind of launched me into this feeling like, when I die, I'm not going to have those attachments anymore. I'm not going to have those judgments anymore. All that's going to be released, and I wonder, does that take me to heaven, to God, to Creator, to nirvana? Is when I finally let that go? Is the death process the activator that makes that happen? So I started to contemplate that, and the other day I was in a restaurant having breakfast, and I had this epiphany, and it was about expanding on this, what I wanted to share. And it started out as a message to my former lovers, and it was really powerful. And then I realized that it doesn't need to stop there. It doesn't need to stop with just lovers. It can go to any relationship that I've had. And then I had another epiphany this morning that it could go to all my family members and my kids and their kids and anyone else that may have been affected by my consciousness or lack thereof. And don't misunderstand that it's not like I'm not realizing that there's also another person on the other end of this, that they play a part in this too. But this is me taking responsibility and ownership for my part. And this is no, like, it needs to, something else needs to happen from this. There's no reciprocation needed. It's just something that feels really good to say. In fact, I'm not really obsessed with death, but I want to be ready for it, and don't want it to be such a big jolt. And I know that I've probably gone through this process many times before, and it's like now I get more practice, and the practice is letting go of any attachments or codependencies or judgments, any negative or ill will towards somebody when I don't know the whole story. And I was thinking about that this morning. I went to go park my truck in a parking spot, and someone had parked over to the side a little bit, really close to the spot I was going into, and that happens all the time. And what do we say? Oh, that jerk doesn't know how to park. But then I realized that, could it be that before he got there, somebody was pulled over to his side, and so he had to move over. And so, it just kind of happens. We don't know the whole story. If we were to rewind the tape back, we could see what happened and how it came into this position. And that's how I see my whole life and other people's lives, that there are unseen forces, unseen happenings that exist here that we're just not privy to. So I want to share this with you, and it's been a very powerful thing for me to say out loud. So I'm going to say it to you right now. My own egoic mind has hijacked my love and feelings for you. It has created stories about how you are the problem. My thoughts have been the problem. I'm sorry for any emotional pain I may have activated within you. Please forgive me for the lack of conscious, loving awareness that was needed to truly heal and integrate our past. Thank you for doing your best to love me. Thank you for showing me those parts of myself that I rejected and required cultivation. I love you for being a witness to that part of my life and my evolution. My beloved and I are in divine relationship to work on, heal, and integrate what I was not ready to do with you. This was not your fault or your role. I'm ready now, partly because of you and the role that you played so magnificently. I realize now that we all get affected by seen and unseen forces. I have blamed you. I don't blame you anymore. You are free. I realize now that I was playing out my life through the lens of my own childhood trauma and unmet needs. I now release this and have a new and much more clear lens. Its name is love. I'm eager to compassionately discover my beloved in the reflection that is in front of me, and thereby become truly intimate with the beloved, my true and authentic self. I am free. That felt so good to put out there and just to come up with, or to let come out of me. Oh, I imagine that feeling that when I'm in the death process, if I'm in the right state, I would love to have that state of being when I'm in that transition process, to have that realization, have that complete letting go. And of course, well, the reason why I do the work that I do is I want to be there before that time comes. I want to be able to experience life with what that feels like. I'm going to have to do that when I die. What if I did that now and then experience what life could be once I let that go? And I know, like, the biggest obstacle that I or you probably face is this secondary action that happens all the time. You know, we get to this, like, even that was a really beautiful expression, right? And what happens after that? What happens is our thoughts start to come up. I know, Daniel, but that's really, you're different than me, or that's going to take a long time. And how do I even get there? Like, how do I proceed in this? And that right there is the problem. The problem is not to answer your questions. The problem is to realize that that happened. Your mind came up again and tried to hijack the situation. And that's what has happened throughout my life, is this hijacking of my true feelings, of my true love for myself and anyone else. So the process is actually, as the thoughts come up, don't give them any more energy. Realize that it's the it's the action of the thoughts coming up, not the thoughts themselves. So you're in a beautiful place, you have this amazing discussion or realization or feeling of love or whatever, and then your thought will come up and start to, trying to drag you back down with it. And it does that by asking all these questions, and it makes you believe that answering the questions are the most important thing. It's not. It's not. The most important thing is for you to stay in that center and realize that you've been hijacked. The truth of you wants to completely love and be loved. So I think about this. This story. I think I told it on the last video. This idea that whenever I am going outward from myself, it's my thoughts taking me outward. And you can feel yourself kind of going forward, going outward. And that's when I start the first steps in losing myself. And it's all part of this, is, all part of this reality and the illusion of separation and yada, yada, and all that. But when I feel that I can pull myself back to my center, that's when I find myself, and that's when I have this, more of a divine connection. The other thing that I realize is that I never lose that. I'm never separate from that divine connection. And I'm going to talk more about this in a deeper way in my next video, about what's really happening here and us as the dreamer and the dreamt. And we're going to get deep into it. But I just want to touch on that realize that we start to have judgments about our relationships. And still, of course, to this day, I have little thoughts that come up about me or Valerie or other people. And my job is not to follow those thoughts to the ends of the earth, to pull them apart and look at all the details. That's what my mind wants to do. And doing that that destroys me. It pulls me away from who I really am so much. So the thoughts still come up, but they don't have such a gripping effect on me. They kind of bubble up to the surface, and then I don't pay them much mind, and I realize what the energy is behind the thoughts. What is this making me feel? I'm starting to feel this because I've got some emotion behind it. That's the work that I want to do. But the thoughts in of themselves are not something that I really need to follow through and follow that path. It's a never-ending path. So when I hold on to the reality of who I am and the love that I want to experience, the only thing that gets in the way is my own thought. If I stay in my heart and I say something like I just said, and let that be my truest expression, that's the thing that I really want to follow. So I'm really getting inspired to take this to the next level and make it into something even more expansive that it kind of gets out there more. So I have an idea about that, and you'll be hearing from me again. So this is a little meeting this morning. I'm just going to allow you to enjoy the scene here, enjoy what we got going on here. Yeah, who would have thought this is Arizona? All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Love you. Thank you. Bless you.